Hello, guys. Welcome back to Raising Hell to Heaven. I'm so excited. It's like 90 degrees today. We have Geoff here with us. Do you like being called Geoff or Geoffrey?
Neither. We're off to a great start. It's
Okay, what do you
Jeff.
like being called? Yeah,
Jeff. It's
Jeff.
spelled
There we
Joff.
go.
It is spelled Joff.
Okay,
My
perfect.
alter ego, Geoffrey, with the
Yeah,
British accent.
I
Yeah,
love it. Okay.
he likes to be called Joff. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah. But no,
I
he's not here
love
right now.
that. That's fun. I had a friend
Uh,
in he's not available. I
no.
had a friend when I was growing up that was like, "No, your name is Chelsea." And I was like,
Mm.
So we're off to a great start. Botched his
Yeah,
name
100%.
at the beginning. Thank you
Nailed
so
it.
much for being here with us. Can you tell us where you are and just a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. Right now, my physical location is in my car, which is where I spend 99% of my time these days. Being unemployed and divorced, that definitely, I feel like goes hand in hand with being in a car for some reason a lot. I don't know. That's just something I've noticed. Anyway, I live in Nova Scotia, Canada right now. And yeah, I don't know how long I can stand s- being here because you just said it was 90 degrees where you are. It's literally minus 10 probably here right now. And I'm surrounded by like 6 feet of snow. I don't know if you can see it in the background, but yeah,
I can a little bit, a little bit.
yeah,
I mean, but I love snow because you can go snowboarding but I think living in it is different. When you are having to
yeah,
shovel your car out, it's not as
yeah.
fun as like, and it's not like you're going on a snowboarding day every day. Like you're living in
No,
it and having to deal with that when you're like
100%.
going to
Wow,
work, going to
actually,
get gas. Yeah.
it's funny that you say that because maybe that's why because I hate all winter sports, and that might be why. I bet you if I lived in the States and it was like warm, I'd probably want to do winter sports. But like I refuse to learn how to skate. I don't ever want to snowboard because I don't want to hurt my knees, but also because I just don't want to be in the snow. Like what are we doing? I want to go fishing and like, you know, do and
That's
basketball and like
crazy.
football. Like I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that goes to show we want what we can't have, right? Because yeah, that's for me. Snow is it's like so fun and it looks so pretty and it's so white but we
Mm.
don't have it here. We don't have
No.
it here at all, ever, ever. Like I have
Yeah.
to go to snowboard and it's the whole fun thing. It's a whole and I lived in Boston for 1 year
Yeah.
and it was a crazy year. And even then, I was like, guys, this is so fun. It's like, okay, it's because you've not had to deal with this your whole life.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
so it
Exactly.
is. I
That makes
can see
sense.
how that
I
could
have
be
a
a
question.
thing.
Does this
Hmm.
count also? Does this count as
Yes.
like a weather small talk conversation? Because we cannot start the podcast with a small talk about weather. That's my like least favorite thing.
I think
But I
it's
don't think
pretty.
this is like an
That
elevated
is
version.
hilarious. This is an elevated version. This is like your whole life.
True.
This is your whole life. And I think too that people are tuning in from like all over the place. And I don't think people
Mm.
think about those kind of things.
Yeah,
Right?
maybe.
Like for
Maybe.
some people, it's like so obvious that snowboarding is the best and
Hmm.
would never have thought to not snowboard because they live like that would never have even been a thought.
Yeah.
But let's get right into it. Speaking
Sure.
of how we're thinking of things and how we process things as people, what caught my eye about your channel, right, is that you have, as you just said, unemployed, divorced, and you're going about it a very different way, a very countercultural way. I can't remember which video it was, but you were very, very vocal in one video where you were like, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing this, this, and this. And I think society tells us like how to get over someone, under someone else, and go party and go drink and have fun and like enjoy your freedom and like that's how you process and get over someone. But we have so many people in this community who I think I have a habit of I hold a space. I try to hold a safe space for people who have gone through abuse and trauma and just toxic relationships and whether it's, it takes two to tango always, but messy relationships and how do we get out of that and how do we make sure that doesn't happen again.
Okay.
So I think I commend you and I think you're
Thank you.
doing are off to a great start.
Thank
So
you.
tell us what you're doing that's different.
Yeah, so I already have so much to say because what you just said is one of the things you said there was as a society, there's a pressure to go about it a certain way to
Mm-hmm.
how to, what did you say? How to get over someone is to get under someone. I don't just
Mm-hmm.
think it's a society thing. I think society normalizes it, but I think it is a nervous system thing, and I think it's a deeply, very like deeply rooted issue from, I don't know, trauma in childhood, whatever it may be, that makes you afraid
Mm-hmm.
of sitting still and afraid of being alone. And so people tend to
Yeah.
just immediately jump to the next thing as quickly as possible, whether or not it's a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
It could be anything in their life, just the next thing that feels safe for their nervous system to
Yeah.
cling on to, that gives them validation, gives them whatever they need. And it's just this like
Mm-hmm.
cycle. It's a perpetual cycle of grasping for other stuff, and just it falls apart because they're not giving what they need to themselves first to be able to actually sustain like a healthy relationship or a healthy job or whatever it is. Like, you have to like sit in
Mm-hmm.
that pain for a while and let your nervous system be accustomed to it, and like
Yeah.
literally put in reps of like alignment of, just sitting in the pain and just doing things for yourself and teaching yourself that you're okay and that you're safe and that you're loved and all this stuff. So yeah, so that's what I
Yeah.
have done for myself, to answer your question,
I
as much
love
as I
that.
can.
Yeah,
You never
that's
you
great.
never really get there all the
Yeah.
way, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, I love that. And I mean, that's
Yep.
exactly what I teach. You hit the head on the nail, right? You cannot fix your life unless you fix your nervous system and you get
Hmm.
grounded first.
Hmm.
So, like for me with my clients, we do breath work, we do journaling, we do time alone, isolation, really giving yourself. I won't tell you who it was, not that anyone would know, but I met this guy one time who could not be alone in a steam or a sauna. And I'm
Mm.
like, you're like the healthiest person I know. Why wouldn't you want a sauna? Like, I'll sit
Hmm.
here for 40 minutes if I have to, if I can handle the heat. But I love being in there. But he was like, I cannot be alone with my thoughts. And I was like,
Mm.
whoa, that is
Hmm.
some serious healing that needs to happen there. But
Yeah.
that is so true. That is how
Hmm.
it is. If you haven't done the work because it's not fun, it's not pretty, it hurts. You start overthinking things, stuff comes up from your childhood. You start, your brain goes all sorts of directions and fears come up and this and that. And you have to learn to self soothe, right? Like for
Hmm.
me, I've learned to literally treat myself like a baby and like go into
Yep.
fetal position. I learned like from therapy, pat myself on the back, give your nervous system what you would need as a child. So like you were saying, doing those reps, what does that look like for you in real time? Like what are those things that you're doing to reprogram and retrain your nervous system during this time of isolation? Maybe not isolation, but healing and growth and you time.
Yeah. So you kind of said it yourself. Like, the reps are all the things you described. Like, sitting with the pain is one of them. Talking to yourself like a
Mm-hmm.
baby. Like, you wouldn't believe. Like, I'm a grown ass man, and the amount of times at my job, at my 9 to 5 job, I would sit in my office with my door closed and literally hold myself like this and say, "It's okay." Like, I literally did that because of how painful and how like lost I felt in my own mind. And that is a rep right there. Like, sitting with that pain for a little bit is a rep,
Yeah,
and it gets you one step closer
yeah,
to
yeah.
those things that need to be healed coming out. And once you have those things out in front of you, like once you realize like what has come up and what needs to be worked on, then you can actually start putting in like more active reps, not just sitting with the pain, but actively being like, okay, like, here's what the pain is showing me. Here's how it's affecting my life. How can I how can I show up differently? How can I heal that? Like, what things can I do so that that is no longer a thing anymore? Like, how can I literally rewire myself from the ground up? Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. I guess, like, for example, if you tend to show up a certain way in certain situations, let's say maybe your mom or something like really triggers you when she says a certain thing, you might just go your whole life never even realizing how much of an issue that is and how much it's affecting you. But once you realize it through sitting in that pain, the next step is to heal it, is to stop for a second when that situation unfolds and say, how can I act different in this situation? And like literally practice it. Even if you don't feel like it, even if you still feel like whatever reaction you want to feel it, but change the action that you take in reaction to it, and keep doing that and keep doing that. And eventually it trains your nervous system to actually act differently and feel differently, and then you can just live a more peaceful life. And that's just one example. It can be, there's so many things, right? So yeah. That makes sense.
I love that. Yeah. And I think that it does 100%. Yeah. And I
Hmm.
think it takes the self-awareness though, right?
Hmm.
So like for
Yeah.
me, I'll throw myself under the bus, right? One thing that I tend to do is get mad or shut down. And if I just continue to do that the rest of my life, then I wouldn't recognize, oh, I'm not actually mad. I'm sad and I'm
Hmm.
scared
Yeah.
and my
Yeah.
feelings are hurt. Right? So next time this like so when anger comes up, instead of being angry, I can be like take a moment and stop and be like, "Ooh, I'm actually sad." So if I tell this person you made me sad, not I'm mad at you, I'm going to
Yeah.
get a lot further.
Way
But it's
further.
that self-awareness and it's so hard in that moment. You have to stop. I think like and that's why it goes back to this time of stopping and slowing down and being
Yep.
in your body and being in your nervous system, because then when stuff comes up, you don't react, you stop. Like,
Yep.
be still and know that I am God is my favorite verse in the
Mm.
Bible. It's just if we can live like that constantly, like in that stillness, when something happens, we stop, we wait,
Hmm.
we think, we pray about it before we make a decision to move forward. Because
Hmm.
otherwise, our old reactions can take over, even after years of doing this work. There's plenty
Yep.
of people, right, that have done this work and are still living in that same cycles. I still have patterns I'm working through that I've been working through for 4 years, right? And like you
Yeah.
said, you're never perfect. There's no one who's like fully adjusted and like the most healed person. Like it's
Nope.
a journey. And then new
Hmm.
stuff comes up. Our love
Hmm.
languages can change as we get older. Like there's so much, but when you can process that and be self-aware and be communicative with your partner, like this is what I'm feeling, maybe that's not even real. Maybe you think you're feeling this way, and maybe a partner who's receptive would be able to be like, are you, or are you maybe feeling this way? And then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, if you're open to that, you could walk and work through that together.
Yes.
um, but we have such
Yes.
a tendency of fear and of rejection and of failure that it's hard to do
Hmm.
that, to sit there and be like, let me try to work through this and see
Yeah.
that there's a light on the end of the very difficult tunnel, right? It's like those
Hmm.
reps. It hurts while you're
Yeah.
doing it. You look good after you work out, but like it's not
Yeah.
fun to do.
Yeah.
And like it has its moments, but
Yeah, it's
yeah.
true. And it's, yeah, there's a lot to say to that. There's like the reps and like sitting in that pain and stuff, like people don't even understand how hard it is. It literally feels like death because that is how your nervous system perceives it because you've been running from it your whole life. Like
Yeah.
your body, like as humans, like we are, I guess, built to survive, right? So like we're trying to perceive threats all the time. So it literally feels like an actual like threat to your life when you slow down
Yes.
because all those things come up and your
Yeah.
your brain doesn't know the difference between it's a lion trying to eat you or it's some insecurity that is from your childhood that it's like these things are like a threat to our ego, which feels like if our ego gets threatened, it feels like it's threatening our life because we have our life and our worth
Yeah.
so attached to our ego, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's extremely
Yeah.
painful. And I lived my entire life up until I got my divorce with that just so clung onto my ego that I didn't even realize my patterns. I didn't even realize I was so not self-aware. I didn't even know anything
Mm.
needed to be fixed. I just thought this is how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Therefore, that's actually true, and that's what's going on. But yeah, I lived my whole life
Yeah.
that way until now.
So let's talk about that. What would you say, like going back, thinking back, and of course, everything happens for a reason, right? And I'm sure you're
Hmm.
glad that you are where you are now. But if there was something you could do differently in your marriage, what would it have been?
I would have done the work sooner. I would have done the work while we were still together, and I absolutely think that I mean, yeah, I could have absolutely saved the marriage. I could have, everything would have been fine. It really would have. Like, we had a good thing, everything was good. I just was fundamentally broken on the inside from the beginning. Yeah, yeah,
And hey, we all are. We're all broken. We
yeah,
know that, right? We all have
yep,
our things. And just having two people that can sit down and work through it together
Hmm.
That's the only way to do it because it's just a bunch of broken people running around here on earth trying to figure it out, right?
It is. It
And
is.
that's the church, and I feel like so many people are, and myself included, have been so hard on the church, but the reality it's just a bunch of broken people trying to do better,
Yeah.
and trying to. But a if we have the ability to communicate and to try to
Hmm.
put loving well over ego and over being right, we
Yeah.
get a lot further. We get a lot further.
100%.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's do what is something that you think that was hard that she did and how did you handle it, and how could you have handled it differently?
Let's see. Honestly, the thing is, there's nothing that she did. It is a two-way street. So there were things
Mm-hmm.
that we clashed on just because we're fundamentally
Mm-hmm.
different people, like every relationship. So there's nothing that she
Mm-hmm.
did. There was how I am and how she is. And with how my
Mm.
internal structure was, it clashed on a level that was like unsustainable because I didn't have, like, again, the self-awareness to work around
Mm.
the problems that normally come up in a relationship. Like you're gonna have fundamental disagreements on certain
Yeah.
things. And for me, it was like life threatening to my nervous system for those things to exist in the marriage. And I was like, because this isn't perfect, it's wrong, and I need to get out of this. Like that's how it felt mentally,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Instead of being
Yeah.
like, instead of just being like, well, we're both human, this is how life is, and I'm gonna work around it. Instead of doing that, I just was like,
Mm-hmm.
this can't happen because it felt like a threat to my ego, to you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
can't really point out anything specific, but we definitely had like our clashes for sure.
Where would you say, and because this varies, right? And I don't know if is there one answer to this? I'm not sure. But where would you say is the line between, right, like something that presents itself and is a problem that should be worked through, and something that is a serious red flag and is just simply not okay?
Okay, that's a great question. Yeah. Ooh, how do I
It's
answer
a tough
that?
one. It's a tough one.
Yeah, because there's things that you do need to draw the line on, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like if someone, if your partner like cheats on you, that's like the holy grail of like, okay, like that's a red flag that, you know, you're kind of justified in, ending things really, because that you've broken the
Mm-hmm.
covenant, you've broken the whole point of it, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I guess though, it really probably is like an individual thing. Um, because some
Yeah.
people can still work through these things, and it can work out. And I do think every marriage is worth
Yeah.
saving also is another thing, right? So yeah, I guess I would have to say I kind of the cop out answer is like, you draw the line where you have to in your own situation, you know?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's the thing. It really comes back to doing that work and doing that nervous system work because, like you
Yeah.
said, and like Kate, my business partner, always says, like sometimes when we are young, the way that our parents operated, right, we needed them or we would die. So, like you said with the lion
Yeah.
analogy, so that becomes
Yeah.
normal to us, right? So, it's all within our nervous system. What happens with a lot of clients that I have, and what happened with me, was too much the other way, where I was self abandoning left and right, allowing too many things
Yeah.
because I was like, well, it's marriage. I need to work. We're working towards marriage. I wasn't married. I wasn't even
Yeah.
married. And I was already like, my
Yeah.
brain was like, you are in a relationship. So it needs to be everything goes unless you get cheated on.
Hmm.
Even to the point where I did end up getting abused, right? Because it was like little
Mm.
things and it was like a frog in hot water where I'm like, well, it's his childhood, or it's just justifying and justifying and justifying
Yeah.
to, in the end, in my brain, right, it was like, well, you have to be a forgiving Christian and like a good woman and a loyal woman, and that's all that mattered was proving. I just posted a reel on it, like, careful not to, what was it? It was like, you can't like grow your garden if every time you grow a flower, you pick it to prove that you're a gardener.
Mm. Wow.
And it was like that. It was like I just kept because I needed to prove myself instead of
Yeah.
realizing like I'm already loved, I'm already chosen, I'm already enough
Yep.
because I'm enough in God's eyes. And so I think that that is like where, I mean, and it's a really hard line. It is a very, it needs to be a conversation, but I think it's if both people are willing to work on themselves, like
Yeah.
genuinely, and neither person is like, well, this is all you. I think the
Yeah.
moment you have one person that's like, it's all your fault, then you're kind of up a creek without a paddle at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if both people are willing to be like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done that, this area could use some work, then you can get somewhere because people are
Yeah.
broken and we are going to mess up and we are going to
Yep.
hurt each other.
Yep.
But being able to keep having that conversation, but it is hard. And I think, especially in the Christian community, it is very difficult to know, like, where is that line
Yeah.
where, like, okay, I don't want to let my ego take over and not allow anything and leave every time anyone does anything,
Hmm.
because that's an avoidant behavior, which I also have had the habit of doing in other relationships where, or not even relationships, like in dating situations where it's like, oh, well, they did one orange flag and I'm gone, right? So there's that too.
Yeah.
And then there's the, well, I'm going to let go or overlook all of these because I need to be forgiving and I need to be loyal and I need to stick through the hard stuff. And there is a
Yeah.
line. And I
I
think it's
guess the
about being in
line,
touch with your nervous system.
yeah, I agree. I think based on all of that, like what you've said, I guess I could revise my answer a little bit. The line should be at the point where you lose yourself in the other person's
Mm.
issues. Like when you lose yourself, even if you've been trying and there's nothing you can do, at that point, it's not even a relationship anymore. Like
Yeah.
you're both just gone. Like, how are you supposed to salvage that? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
not like, a relationship
Yeah.
expert or anything, but I could imagine that, that's like probably a pretty definitive thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're just trying
I
and
think
trying
that's a
until the
good
point
way
where
to
you're just
measure it.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is one thing I wanted to
Yeah.
say to what you said though, also, which is from my own perspective. This is some like insight that I can bring, just from what happened to me is you said you gave a lot to a particular relationship, like to the point where it was like, it felt like it was
Mm-hmm.
for nothing almost, kind of, right? Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can say it probably wasn't. And even if it was, like, to people out there that are in relationships like that and they are giving a lot and it ends up ending and it's just over, whatever, it's not all for nothing because you may have planted a seed in that person that
Mm-hmm.
will fundamentally change them so that they can have a healthy relationship in their next one. And I know it seems like it's not fair, but it's better than, you know, no one ever healing and then it just, continuing the path of destruction
Yeah.
forever. Because I would have continued that. If my ex-spouse had not been as loving as she was throughout the entire process in our marriage and like graceful and like all this stuff, I think I would have had every excuse
Mm-hmm.
not to look inward and to continue to blame her even after we split
Mm-hmm.
up. But because she loved me through it all, I was like, there is something wrong in here that I need to work on. And I fundamentally changed from the
Yeah.
inside out. And now I know that my next relationship is going to be able to be held to the precious standard that it deserves. And so thank her for that, and that might have happened in someone
Yeah.
else's, in your situation or, other relationships, like you just don't know. So,
Yeah, that's beautiful. Because at the end of the day, all we have control over is ourselves. So if you're laying your
yep.
head on your pillow at the end of the night, knowing like I showed up the best that I could,
Hmm.
that is important. It is important, and I think that's beautiful. I think that's great because there is a lot of people out there, probably like the type of people that would be listening to this, that are overgivers, right? So
Yeah.
just know that like eventually someone is going to appreciate that overgiving. So don't like dull and numb and darken your heart. Just be more
Hmm.
careful with who you choose to give that love to, that unconditional love, and just knowing. And I think too, like putting your foot down at a point and
Yeah.
once you're starting to lose yourself is doing, if you don't put your foot down, you're doing a disservice to your partner. So knowing when to be like, okay, it's enough, I'm gonna love you and let you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love you from
Yeah.
afar, right?
Yeah, you can't sacrifice yourself. You do have to be putting yourself first at the end of the day, because you don't put yourself first, how are you going to pour into the other person at all? And like, again, then it's not even a relationship anymore. When you both have nothing to give and you're both lost, like, what's going on? I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The most, profound act of love in the end of the day is, I mean, it's just like you have women or parents on planes. You have to put your air mask on first.
Hmm.
Otherwise, you'll go to put
Yeah.
it on your kid and you're dead on the way. Like, that's how it works, right?
Yep.
So, that's beautiful. So, what are some things, like kind of maybe ground rules or like protocol that you've had for yourself post divorce, like things that you are actively like doing in your life to heal, to prepare for your next marriage? Maybe that's like for me, I took 4 months off of dating right now, right? So, like, what
Yeah.
are some things that you're doing and that you would suggest to other men that have gone through divorce or heartbreak or, and any sort of breakup, that is helping you to become the man that you want to be for your future for your future wife? I'm the one having husband, hopefully.
Yeah. That's a great question. This is like actually one of the best questions I've ever been asked. Because it's kind of going to enlighten all the work that is done, right?
Hmm.
Well, the number one thing is just sit with your pain and realize that the more pain that you sit with, the stronger you're going to come out the other side, the better man you're going to come out the other side, the more you're going to learn about yourself, the more self-aware you're going to be, and the more you can translate into the rest of your life and bring peace and joy to others and in your next relationship. So, sitting with pain is number one, which pretty much cascading from that is all the other things. So
Yeah.
avoiding jumping into a next relationship, avoiding cheap, you know, cheap, entertaining other women in a cheap
Thrills.
way.
Yeah.
At least for a while. Like it's not like, in my opinion, it's not like morally reprehensible to have like relationships with women that aren't going anywhere, but it's not something you want to do when you get out of a relationship, because immediately you're filling that void with things that are just not going to do it. They're just all, it's just nothing.
Yeah.
So that's a big one, because that's probably the
Hmm.
biggest one that, probably the first thing most dudes do when they get out of a relationship is jump on Hinge or Tinder, if I had to assume.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, do that for as long as you can. Find, spirituality, faith is huge for me personally. I found that was very helpful. And just work on, like, one of the biggest things just in general is having integrity and like building integrity within yourself, like being integral to yourself and holding yourself accountable. So one of the things that I would do
Hmm.
and question all the time throughout my day is, before I took any action or did a thing or posted a thing or said a thing, I'd be like, if nobody saw this, if nobody validated me for it, if even if everyone just disagreed, blah 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 blah, is it still something I would do? And then it makes, like, just by asking yourself that question, it ensures that it's coming from a place of like it's actually you doing it, and it's not motivated by getting
Yeah.
validation, it's not motivated by like any external factor. And that really helped me, just start to become like a man, basically, right? And stop just chasing cheap momentum and all this stuff, constantly asking myself that question. It
Yeah.
really helped, helped me live my life from like a real place. So yeah, I guess those would be a few things that you could do.
Those are good ones. Those are good ones. I think that that is it, right? It's looking into why am I doing what I'm doing, and that's
Hmm.
huge. I love that you hit that the head on the nail with that. Just, I mean, like, why am I posting this, or why am I doing this, or why am I saying this? Is it
Yeah.
gonna help me become the person that I'm trying to become, or is it gonna help
Yeah.
someone else, or would God approve of this? Like,
Yeah.
if I was standing at the pearly gates, would I be proud of whatever it is? And I think it's
Yeah.
so easy to, in our day to day lives, just kind of like lose grasp of that, where we just
Yeah.
start getting busy, or it becomes like, sometimes for very good things too. Sometimes it's like, well, this is going to get me more money. That's great. That's great. I
Yeah.
know that you like, especially like if you're getting money for the right reasons too. It's like, okay, well, this is going to give me more money and I need money to provide for my future family. Okay, cool. But like, but what is
Yeah.
actually the point? Are you doing something that's going to honor God and get you money, or are you've forgotten about God in that moment because it's all about getting money or status or
Yeah.
keeping busy? And like that's the big thing. It keeps coming back to the
Yeah.
stillness, because we are just such a busy culture. We don't know how to be still. And I
Hmm.
catch myself still constantly, even while I'm watching a movie. Like, well, I'm just on my phone. It's just like, okay,
Yeah.
just stop. I think it's so important to take some time away from your phone, away from busyness. Maybe like go into nature or take a book or just be with yourself. We've
Hmm.
so lost the art of that, especially if you live like in a city or a busy place. It's like there's always something. It's the next lunch or the next dinner, or okay, I'm going to work, and then right after that I'm working out, and then I'm going to see a friend. And like it just never stops, and the phone's always blowing up, and we just don't know, like, how can we even have time to think or stop or process
Yeah.
those things. And even in a season of no dating, it would be easy it would be easy for me to like skate through these 4 months, um like without growing, actually.
Hmm.
If
Yeah.
I wanted to, I could go 4 months without dating, without talking to any guys, and still say so busy that I accomplished nothing,
Yeah.
because I could just be, maybe I'm working or I'm going to lunch with girlfriends, and I'm like, I have a lunch every single day with a girlfriend. And it's so easy to just have life just speed by and
Yep.
not be there for it.
Yeah.
If that
Exactly.
makes
I
sense,
totally agree. I totally agree. Yeah. I call it getting caught up in the momentum of life. I say that a lot. And to
Mm,
me, that just means you're just too busy to be in tune with yourself. And it's
yeah.
the only way you're not going to get caught up in the momentum of life is having small things that anchor you each day, having some sort of routine that you can complete no matter where and what you're doing. For me, it's
Yeah.
not looking at my phone when I wake up. I take 10 to 20 minutes and just don't look at my phone, and I just let myself wake up naturally, then get up. I usually try to go for a walk with no phone, and then I read my Bible. That's my grounding routine. If I don't do that, I'm immediately already distracted, and I'm just a
Hmm.
zombie for the rest of the day. So yeah, having small
Yeah.
things to anchor
Yeah.
you is huge. Literally just, even if you're like busy and you have no time, make 5 minutes for yourself to sit with your hands on your thighs and your feet on the floor and just do nothing and just let the
Yeah.
feelings go by for a minute. Even that's better than nothing. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
No, 100%. I think I'm the same way, where it's like, and I am so bad at it. This is one thing, like, I have got to get better at it, because my
Yeah.
business partner is in Africa. So I
Oh
wake
wow.
up and I'm immediately like, I need to get back to her. All this stuff happened while I was asleep, and I
Yep.
need to know what it is. And so it's so easy to look at it immediately, and just all of a sudden I'm just in go mode,
Yep.
which as a woman too will put me in like fight or flight, instead of
Yep.
like taking that time. It's so important for me to like go outside or like drink lemon water, put my feet in the grass and just
Yeah.
stand, and all of a sudden you look at the sun and it's like, oh, I'm okay.
Hmm.
And you can feel that, and it's so important, and it leaks into the rest of your day, how you
Hmm.
start those moments. And if you start your moments like, okay, what's the whole purpose? Why am I here?
Hmm.
Okay, Lord, how do you want me to move today? How do you want to show up
Yeah.
for me today? Like, how do you want me to show up to represent you throughout whatever I'm doing, even if it's going to the grocery store and cooking? Like,
Hmm.
how do you want me to represent you well while doing that? And if you start your mind with that, it exists in the rest of your day, and you can have a much more calm day. But yeah, I think that is a practice that we have to, it's a practice, it's a routine, you have to like get used to it. And
Yep.
years ago I didn't journal, and now like
No,
I
yeah.
can't function without journaling.
Yeah.
Like,
Same.
I'm like,
Same.
if I can't write this down and process it, it's not good. Stacks
Yeah.
at this point. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Journaling's
great, it's
huge. Oh
great.
my gosh. All that stuff, and like just, yeah, constantly questioning your actions. That's huge for people that are in that void between relationships that are trying to go through that. Like, questioning your
Mm,
actions is so huge, and being able to like keep yourself accountable to what you're doing and like not getting caught up in that momentum of
yeah.
life, because otherwise, like we both are saying, like you'll never heal if you do that. So yeah, journaling is like the biggest one because like, that's how you're never going to remember all the clarity that you get um, from from sitting in it. But if you write it down, you'll be able to go back to it. And that's super
Yeah.
important. Super, super important. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's huge. And our brains actually slow down as we're writing. But I
Mm,
think you hit the head on the nail again with that, where it's like you have to write it down because then when you go back, you're like, oh, I forgot I had that epiphany.
yeah.
And then the second, because it takes us 7 times, I believe, you have to hear something 7 times for it to truly register and stick in your head. So every
Hmm.
time we have an epiphany, if you write it down, you can go back to it and remember it again. So you're getting that much closer to having that epiphany really be part of your life and really
Hmm.
be like, okay, this is who I am now. This is
Yeah.
not something I'm going to forget next Tuesday, which can happen so quickly, right? Our
Yeah.
epiphanies and our moments of clarity come and they go so fast.
Yeah.
I'll have days where I'm like, why am I sad? Like,
Yeah.
what's going on? And we don't even know. We have to sit in it and process it and then remember like, oh, right. Okay, wait, we're back
Yeah.
here again. And it's
Yeah.
that 2 step forward, 1 step back thing. Um,
Yes. And
so
that's why
what would you
journaling is so
say to the
helpful. Yeah.
people? Yeah,
Good.
yeah, exactly. What would you say to people that are dating now? Number one, like as a Christian man, what are important values to be looking for? And what are some really important things, tools for early dating stages to know to know if she's a good one, right? Because I get
Mm,
so many people being like, well, first of all, where do I meet her? And my biggest thing is I'm like, it's not about where, because you'll meet people everywhere. If you're
yeah.
open to it, if you know what to look for, that's what's really important. So, as a man, what do you look for in a Christian woman, and what would you like suggest to guys to look out for early on? Because you can identify very, very quickly if you
Yeah.
took the time to figure out like what are my values and what am I looking for and what am I trying to stay away from.
Yeah. Well, I will say right now I'm not even in a place where I'm necessarily looking. So that's something that I probably still have to work on. But the rule of
Mm-hmm.
thumb that I already have adopted, even though I'm not really, like if someone, I will say this, if someone falls into my life that's right, great.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to keep giving myself some more time. That's my thing. Anyway, one of
Love
the rules
that.
of thumb that
Yeah.
I have adopted that everyone can apply is just ask yourself the question to, in whatever woman you find in your dating, just be like, okay, if I died, do I want this woman to raise my children? That's it. And then everything
Mm,
else is just intuitive. You just know. You're like, oh, well, like, no, I don't,
yeah.
or yes, I do. Like, you'll know. So you don't have to like pick apart each thing. That question just gives you all the
Yeah.
intuition you need, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's huge. That's
Hmm.
huge. Another thing I think about is like, would you want your daughter to end up being like her?
Yeah. Perfect. Another
Because
perfect
if
one.
it's a
Yeah.
high value woman, yeah, you're gonna be like, okay, I would be happy if my daughter behaved this way as an
Yeah.
adult. Because you
Yep.
know what she's doing behind closed doors if you're
Yep.
dating her, and you got to think to yourself, would I be happy to hear or to find if I knew somehow
Yeah.
what
Those.
my
Oh my
daughter is
gosh.
doing
I
if she was behaving this way?
I love questions like that. I love like asking yourself those mentally reframing questions because we are so easily we're it's so easy for us to convince ourselves that something's okay or that like let things go because maybe our emotions get in the way, but those mentally reframing questions
Mm-hmm.
are like a dead stop to that. It's like, no, actually I don't like
Yes.
that woman still hasn't deleted her dating app even though she's seeing me. Like immediately you're like, you just know. So yeah, I think asking yourself
Yeah.
those two questions would probably be the best advice that you could ever give, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. And I think too, like with guys asking yourself, like where you're at and how you're behaving, it's like, would you be okay with your daughter dating someone like you?
Yeah.
Is the number one thing for that, right? And
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
too, what a
It's a
lot
good
of
one.
men maybe don't realize is, you know, because
Yeah.
I think about that sometimes, and like my ex had 2 daughters, and I just think if you if you found out that some man was doing to your daughters what you're doing to me, you'd kill him.
Yeah.
You'd kill him.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
And then the other thing is too, I think it's important for men to know, because men are like, okay, well, what? How do I text her the right thing, or what do I do? How do I get the girl? How do I keep the girl? It's your life. Your lifestyle is what speaks to us. And we just wrote a book about it, releasing a book called "Dude, Where's My Woman?" And it's like us girls, we start analyzing a man in our body, our nervous system, far sooner than our brain does. Right? So we can be like, oh, this doesn't feel good. I don't know why it doesn't feel good, but something doesn't feel good. And it's that our bodies are like, yeah, and that's the thing, is it's like, and the ick has been such a, it's just been like, okay, well, it's a joke, or it's like, like it's stupid, and girls get the ick way too easily over such silly things that don't matter. But to some extent, like, the ick is very real. It is something in your body that says, I'm not safe here. And do I want to put, my children in the care of this man? Will I be safe when I am at the most vulnerable state I will ever be in my life? Because when a woman is bearing children, she is completely dependent on him. You know, like there's times where we're just not, like, we need help. We need someone there supporting us. And after having kids too, like, is he going to, when my emotions and my hormones are off the chart, is he going to be like, you're okay? Is he going to be my constant? Right? So if he's already not being consistent on date 1 or 2, you might be like, I got the ick. I don't know why. Well, maybe your nervous system, right? So we're tracking from the get-go. We're looking at, and I think that's too, they call women FBI, but that's what it is. Like, we're looking at, we're looking at all those little things. Like, what is he doing with his free time? What is his morning routine like? Is he consistent? Is he reliable? How is he to other people? How is he treating others? I do not for a second, like, see a guy treat someone else a certain way and think it's so selfish if you really think about it. When I see a guy treat another person wrong, that is really mean, and I don't like that. But I'm also like, how are you going to treat me?
Yeah.
If you're treating that person like that, what if I get fat? Like, what if I'm sorry to not be PC at all, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, what if I, get sick? What if I get cancer? What if, like, that's where our brains go. That's where our bodies go before we even realize it. So I think the most important thing guys do, like, I think that there can be this societal pressure to, okay, make sure you're taking her out to the right place, and, you're saying the right things, and there's all these, like, online courses that are like, just all you got to do to get her is, like, be suave and do this and that and do these things. It's not the things that you're doing. It's your life. Your life is what is the proof is in the pudding.
Yes. 1,000%. I'm about to get super passionate. I genuinely, like, that whole thing of, like, here's how to get women, or here's how to get, like, the right, even if it's, like, a wholesome thing, if it's like you're trying to find, like, the right woman. All of that is BS, okay? Because if you have to do something and be something that you're not in order to attain a female, that's not it. You're just not, it's not ever going to work, because down the road, you're still going to be putting on this act, and it's going to fall apart, and then she's going to realize it, and you're going to realize it, and you're going to feel shame. It's ridiculous. So here's what you do. As a man, you ask yourself, what kind of man do I want to be, and who can I commit to working on being for the rest of my life? And then just be that guy in your life, regardless if you're looking for a woman or not. And I guarantee you, the right woman that is meant for you will fall into place with that. You don't have to go looking for her and change yourself in order to make it work around her. You just need to be you, and she'll fall into place. And same advice for the woman. The right man's going to fall into your life if you just keep showing up with integrity and being the woman that you want to be. It's going to happen. Stop playing this fake character to get another fake person to then be fake together until you both realize that it's not going to work because you're both being fake. Right? That's it.
That's a soundbite. That's a good one.
Okay.
It's so
So,
real. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And then you find, you have all these. I noticed too, just growing up around in LA, right? I'm like, I've been in households where I'm just like, do you guys even talk? Like, it's just this like empty shell of an existence. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
it's really cool that you guys have nice cars, but like, are you friends? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like you come
Yep.
home to this big glass house with all these
Yeah.
pretty things in it, and it's a real life, tangible representation of what's going on internally, which is nothing. It's empty
Yes. It's
and
empty.
very lonely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You wouldn't believe how incredibly, how much better your life becomes when you just start showing up with integrity. And it's so much easier said than done, because doing that requires to be questioning your actions all the time, and it requires to be sitting with pain, and it requires a
Yeah.
routine of being accountable to yourself all the time. But your life is so much
Mm-hmm.
better because you're no longer trying to fit into life. Life is just falling into place around you. And it's not just like the woman that you're looking for, right? Or the man that you're looking for. It's your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Everything will fall into place that way, right? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, when you're
Yeah.
being you, the only way your life can fall around you is in line with that. It can't be any other way. But if you're trying to be something
Yeah.
else and trying to do something, then you're going to get yourself going down the wrong paths, and it's just useless. It's like, just be you and do what
Yeah.
you think is right and be integral, and you're good, you know? Trust it. And
Yeah.
that's where faith
Yeah.
comes in, because faith is huge in that pursuit. It's hard to do it on your own, but if you have faith, it's one thing you can always fall
Yeah.
back on. And, you just say, God, I know you got a plan laid out for me. I'm going to keep doing the integral thing, even though it's not working right now. And eventually, it's going to work. Yep.
That part. That part. That's the
Yep.
thing, it's like I don't know how people it's like exhausting to think about. It's like life is hard enough even with God at the center of it. I cannot
Yeah.
imagine doing it without him. I
Yeah.
cannot imagine. I just lost my grandpa this last week and I was like, I'm so jealous. He's like up in
Mm.
heaven right now. I can't imagine like being like, well, he's gone. Where did he
Yeah.
go? Like I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like that. I don't even know how my emotional ass brain would process that, right? And
Mm.
it's just incredible when you lean into literally everything. And I just this morning, I mean, this whole month, we're 1 month into the year, and I'm already like, I thought last year was the year of getting rid of things, but then again, I did start my year on a very aggressive cleanse, but like just
Yeah.
a lot of time alone, and the Lord has. I'm just like, okay, Lord, if not just guys, but like people, places, things, opportunities, jobs, anything, if it's not for me, just take it away. And today I just had this like overwhelming peace as one opportunity that I thought was so from God, so 100% from God. And I got this long text about how it's not going to happen. And I was just like, okay, so what do you
Yeah.
have? Because there's something else, right? Because like I already know, I'm like, he's got me. And like it's almost a relief. And I talk about this also with my business partner. Like we're constantly like, say the prayer. If you want to know if someone is for you, just be like, okay, Lord, if this is not for me, take it away. I promise they will go
Mm-hmm.
so fast. There has been times when Kate and I have prayed that prayer and people will just like, it's like they vanish in
Yeah.
thin air. It's like, what is meant for you
Yeah.
will stay,
It will.
you know?
It will.
Um,
Yeah.
but you have to like lean into that.
You do. You do. And faith is something that I'm about to probably drop a controversial opinion here. I am the weirdest
That's
Christian
okay.
man you'll ever meet. I really am, because for me, I was an atheist for a long time, and before
Okay.
that, I was a Christian. So
Okay.
up until I split up with my spouse, I was pretty devoutly atheist, I would say, because I started to become so logical and so reliant on my own logic and my own brain that I was so unaccepting of anything that was. I became literally not even a human at one point. Like, I just had no emotion. I was just, here's what's logically happening. Here's how I'm going to logically make this all make
Mm-hmm.
sense in my own head. Anyway, so trying to just be
Mm-hmm.
in so much control, like narcissistic, I would say, and just lost. Anyway, so the problem is right now for me, And to anyone out here that's also maybe an atheist or is like not Christian or is debating on faith, whatever, I'm just going to make a statement right now. Having faith in God is a choice. It is, okay? Believing, really truly believing is hard, but it is a choice that you can actually make as a human being, because you don't have to be perfectly logical as a human being. I'm sorry, I know that yes, there are laws of logic in the universe, but you can be a human and you can be illogical on purpose and knowingly. And you can have cognitive dissonance towards the things that you don't agree with within whatever faith structure you want to go with. But the bottom line is that having faith, if you choose to have it, will make you a better person in almost every case, and it will bring more light to your life and those around you. And so, like, why are you choosing not to do that when it's a choice? It freaking is. I know it from firsthand experience, okay? Like, I do. I'm choosing faith every day, and I'm choosing to read my Bible every day. And no, I don't believe everything. And some days, I don't even believe there's a God, but I still choose to read my Bible and do what it says. And it's so pragmatic, and it works. And yeah, like, it makes me a better person, and that's all I care about, right? And this is
Yeah.
not Pascal's wager. It's Jeff's wager. Just read your freaking Bible and do what it says and be a better person. All right, that's it. I'm out. That's all I got.
It's Geoffrey wager.
Yeah, Joff's wager. Yeah, there you go.
Wait, but okay, I'm gonna go ahead and play devil's advocate real quick,
Please do.
okay?
Please
I'm gonna
do.
throw this one at you.
Yes.
Okay, but what about the people that are good people? No, I'm sorry, that are Christians that are doing bad things, which is a lot. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of
Okay.
people that hurt people, kill people, murder people, like and they call themselves Christians. And there's a lot of pain and suffering that's been done in the name of religion. What would you say to that as
I
a
agree.
new Christian? Because
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. Like any like atheist argument you give me, I'm going to agree with, because I actually logically I'm going to side with 99% of that. But but the human
so
side of me
then
that
how
wants
do
to be a better
you?
person, I literally have
Uh-huh.
cognitive dissonance. People are going to hate me for this, but I don't freaking care. I'm a better person than I was before because of this. So I literally maintain cognitive dissonance on purpose about certain like those all those arguments. I know them inside and out, okay? I've
Yeah,
literally sat and
yeah,
just I've literally researched like to the very
yeah.
it just over the top, and it's like I literally just throw it all to the side and just say I'm choosing this anyway. I'm going to go read Proverbs and get some wisdom, and I'm going to apply it to my life today. And
Hmm.
that's what I do. You know?
I love that. I mean, okay,
It
so
works.
my most recent relationship was the healthiest relationship I've ever had. It
Okay.
taught me that healthy relationships can happen. It's
Mhm.
part of the reason I'm still single 4 years later, because now I've
Mhm.
experienced the absolute worst and the absolute best. But the reason that we split up was because he was a devout atheist, used to be a
Mm.
Christian, very strong Christian mom. It was very interesting how we would like have conversations because he could communicate with me in a way like as a Christian because
Yeah.
he was a Christian. So like give me the answers he knew from a biblical point of view,
Yeah.
that I would need to hear. Like, if you believe in Jesus, then you should be doing this, this, and this. Now, I don't, so I would think this. But because
Yeah.
so, but that was always the thing, is that he was
Mm.
so intelligent and so kind and had such a heart for people that he was like, I cannot in good conscience believe this because people are suffering, and
Mm.
logic to himself all the way to
Yeah.
atheism.
Yeah.
And
So
I bet there's a lot of really good people out there doing that because they're
yeah.
good people, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So okay, now I get what you're saying. So this is where this is really where the rubber meets the road, because what you're saying is like is true. That it's objectively true that there are people doing bad things in the name of Christianity. There's also bad people doing bad things in the name of nothing. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, doing this adds to my life, makes my life better, and I'm choosing to do it because it makes my life better. I'm not choosing like again, I'm using my brain as a human, and I'm picking and choosing the things that make me a better person, okay? And you could go all the
Mm-hmm.
way down the rabbit hole of like morality and is it objective, is it subjective, and try to like just shut up. You know what being a good person is, okay? I just am
Yeah.
tired of all that. That was a phase for me, okay? Yes, you can do that, but also just shut up and just be a better person. Okay, I'm not a philosopher and I don't need to be, and neither do you, and you know, okay, that when it comes to like being pragmatically a better person in your life, you don't need to sit there in every moral decision and be like, "Oh, well, okay, my sister's waving at me." Anyway, you don't have to sit there in every like situation where there's a moral choice and like debate the absolute like existential philosophy of the universe to make that decision. Just okay? So stop. That's I don't know. And I know nobody is going to like that and that's just such a shitty answer, but I don't
That's
care.
okay. I
You
mean,
know?
the answer is just shut up.
Just shut up.
No, but I
Do the
mean,
right thing.
truly, I think that do the right thing. I mean, that's what it really comes down to, I think. And I
Yeah.
think it is just like in the
Yeah. I
end,
can already
we
tell all the
I
comments.
truly believe
Sorry.
it's good.
People are going to
It's
be like,
good.
"Oh,
We
well
need to
the
have
right
these
thing is
hard
subjective."
talks.
But whatever. Anyway.
And that's fine. That's fine. Like
Yeah.
this is why this is the I believe the correct way to use social media is to
Yeah.
have these hard conversations. I don't want to
Yeah.
just show up and be bubblegum and be like, you're going to turn Christian and then your whole life's going to be better. Like, no.
Mhm.
Huh.
No.
I was fully Christian throughout my whole abusive relationships. My
Yeah.
abusive ex would call himself a Christian. Like, so
Mhm.
we have to have these hard talks. We have to like get down and dirty with it and really come to like the core. And when it comes down to it, like I would say, it's just trying to live and love like Jesus. Is just trying to put others before yourself. And that's I think the difference is if there's not a higher power, it would be foolish not to live for yourself. And in the end of the day, I genuinely believe it takes more faith to believe that there is not a God than to believe that there is one.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay. I like that
But
one. I've heard that one
okay.
before. Yep. Let's
Okay,
elaborate
I'm
on
gonna
that.
ask
Can we
one more question.
Oh no, okay, go ahead. Never mind.
No, go
Go ahead.
ahead.
No, you're the I
No,
want
no,
to
no.
you ask me the
Ask
question.
away.
Okay. So, what can I ask I
Okay.
just like what your like reasoning is behind that? Just for out of my own curiosity because that's an argument that I have heard before and I
Yeah.
just always like to hear that people's perspective on it.
Okay, so I have a few. Um, okay, one of them is like hummingbirds. Okay.
Okay.
And I think I brought this up in my last podcast, but it's okay. You guys are gonna have to just hear it again. So hummingbirds, there's no scientific reason for why their hearts don't explode. And then also, there's just so many things that aren't explained in science and in nature. Camera just overheated and turned off. Okay, so here we are.
Okay.
Can you still hear me? You can still hear
Yep.
me? We're good?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just think that there are so many unexplainable things. And if you look at like the heavens and the stars and like try to just pretend like you can ever understand that. There's just like there's so much we don't know. And even in science, there's things we every like maybe it's every year, maybe it's every decade or whatever. There's constantly things that our scientists are like, oh wait, we were wrong about that. Like we don't know. There's so much unknown. So I think you'd have to prove that there's not a higher power. And you can't. So it takes more faith to believe that there's not a higher power
Okay.
than that there is. That's
Yeah.
where I'm with
Okay.
that. And then
Okay.
also, as far as Jesus, particularly, why I'm so not only because I honestly believe he's just shown up in my life in so many ways, but we all like there are very few people that'll be like Jesus didn't exist. Jesus did exist. Most people do believe and agree Jesus did exist. He did say he was God. So the liar, lunatic, Lord. Have you ever heard that?
No.
Okay, so because there are records of him saying he was God. He was either lying about it, he was crazy, or he was God. People don't often brutally die for a lie. Like, that's just not a thing that people like at the and that's why there's torture, right? At the last minute, no, I'm just kidding. And then there's so many accounts of him and how he was operating in his life. Like, there's just no way he was mentally ill. And so the last conclusion with logic would be that he was telling the truth.
Mm. Okay, that's cool.
So
I
that's
actually
my,
haven't heard that. I have not heard that second argument before. I am going to address the first one only for the point of it's going to help elucidate further, like, my opinion, and because I guarantee there's probably it's going to elucidate my perspective on it. And I know that there's probably people watching that were how I was like a year ago, and like atheists and like all this, everything you just said, they would like hate to listen to because they'd be like, oh, I know the argument against that. So I'm going to tell you the argument against that. And then I'm going to say,
okay, let's hear it.
why I don't care anymore. So,
Okay.
so, yeah. So like that, what you described, about there being a lot we don't know in science and like et cetera, that would be like the classic like God of the gaps argument, which is because we don't know, therefore God must exist because we're filling in the gaps with God. Whatever. I don't care about that anymore. Again, I'm pragmatically using the Bible and my faith to make me a better human being. So I don't care whether or not, like, I don't care about the arguments anymore. And I know that's cop-out and people hate that, but like if you can do that, like, and just apply your own moral, like, being a human being is, you're never going to have a black and white answer. Okay, you're not, just because you're a Christian doesn't mean you're a good person. Just because you have this whatever belief system doesn't mean you're a good person. It's a combination of all the factors. Being a human being is taking all the best bits from everything, applying your own morality to it, your own logic to it, society's logic to it, society's perspective of morality, using all that, consolidating it, and then spitting out the best version of yourself that you can. There's never going to be one singular defined answer. But yes, I also think it is good that people are working towards that. But it's always going to be a process of working towards it, okay? The freaking sun is going to die out and we're going to not exist anymore before the point that we have this all figured out, okay? In my opinion. So let's just keep trying to be a better person, take all perspectives, and apply it. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
100%. Well, thank you so much. No, this was great. I mean, we got God, we covered relationships, dating, healing, all of the things.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much, Geoff. I'm just kidding. Jeff, for joining us today. And thank you guys for listening. You can find, I will have tagged his Instagram below. You can find his content. Thank you for being a good example, and doing the hard work. We can do hard things. So thank you for taking some time out of your day to join us. Night now, I see that it's still, I might go to the beach. Enjoy the snow in the dark.
Why would you rub it in like that? Brutal. It's all right.
Just because I'm super nice. Well, thank you guys, and tune in to the next one. We love you. Bye.